Good afternoon, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome back to the Weekend Funcast with WrestleMania. Russ Thomas.
Thank you. That was really good.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Really good. Yeah. What's his name? The Buffer, Michael Buffer. You got that, only you're better, but you got the Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
He's a husband.
And I did just think of that nickname like literally 30 minutes ago.
You did.
I walked into the studio. I said, "Hey, WrestleMania," but I think I like it.
Well, thank you. I kind of did too. I was like, that just it has a nice feel to it.
Yeah,
By the way, we actually have the word Russell in our forecast, so you'll see it in just a minute.
Ooh.
It's part of a full word. It's not just Russell, but yeah. By the way, how's it going?
Oh, it's going forward, my man. Here, let's try that again. I didn't get it. There we go. Now we're talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to get in there on the handshakes.
Really, otherwise, it feels like a limp fish. Especially if you're a guy, you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I've had women just manhandle my hands. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. Whoa.
Let me get in there. Let me just really, you know. So I got it. So anyway, it worked out great here. I want to ask you a quick. I know we're going to talk about. There's so much going on, but I want to ask you. You mentioned you were actually came in on a call with my son. We were talking via cell phone yesterday.
Sure.
And you mentioned the hurting the quad. I believe you said, "Don't ever live to be 32." To my son. To which I said, "I've got a plan in which he'll never live that long." But you hurt your quadra or forceps. Tell me, how are you feeling?
I'm all right. Yeah. No, we lost. Our defense can't stop a nosebleed right now in flag football. It's just a horrible problem. Russ, here's what happened. I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm the fastest man alive.
I know that.
It's
that's
common
not
knowledge.
bragging. That's just
fact.
Real.
And so I was going across the middle, and this guy kneed me right in the middle of the leg, and it did slow me down a little bit.
Yeah.
I was still the fastest man alive, but not by as wide of a margin as I would prefer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that does happen.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what you sign up for.
Right.
I'm grateful just to still be in good enough shape to be able to participate in something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely like Broncos Wes Welker.
Yes.
Not Patriots Wes Welker
Gotcha.
at this point in my career.
Gotcha. Well, you said something, and I was going to say, I know for you said they need me. And to be honest with you, I think you should feel lucky. For years, I was just looking for anyone to need me, and it didn't happen. So, but I finally found that. So we may be talking about something different. But anyway, I do want to tell you that this is, as we kind of look at our forecast, this is kind of starting this weekend through about the next 4 or 5 weekends, if we're lucky. Really, my favorite time.
Absolutely, me too.
It's the weather. It's the leaves changing. It's honestly football. I was thinking that's one of the big things. Is if you're a college football fan, you've kind of got past those first couple of non-conference games, 2 or 3. And while North Dakota State still has a non-conference opponent tomorrow, it's homecoming.
Yeah,
we've got a homecoming forecast already coming out. But again, great. And if you're NFL, I know we're fans of that as well very much. First couple weeks, you kind of got those things out of the way, those little, because now preseason's so short, players don't play a lot of times, don't even, the main guys don't even show up for the preseason. So now it's like we're full into it. You got so much outside. It's my favorite time.
Yeah, it's not quite like chilly weather. This kind of chilly,
right?
Because it has to get a little chillier before you can have the chili.
Exactly.
But like you're approaching that territory, and it's tailgating weather is what it is. It's like the perfect tailgating weather, and that's perfect for NDSU homecoming too.
Oh my gosh!
Just an unbelievable atmosphere at those tailgates, and so yeah, I can't wait to hear about it.
Absolutely. So, by the way, of course, this weekend, the other big thing is you got the last day of summer, Saturday. You've got the first day of fall, so really broken up. Very nice. Let's take a look here. Take a look, as some people say, if they pronounce it right. Counting down to fall, we've got 2 days left. I want to show this very pretty graphic here. 7:43 a.m. on Sunday. That is our official beginning to fall. And again, my favorite, just everything. Like, I get so excited this time of year for so many different things. Number one, being on the Funcast with Adam. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I want to show you this interesting graphic here. But I thought, do we need an explainer? I know. So we mentioned Sunday, 7:43, the autumnal equinox. Apparently, I don't even have to push any buttons. Lisa Green put this together. Lisa Green is amazing. Between her and Summer, I don't really ever have to put together graphics.
You're a system quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I just let them run with it, and I just say the words.
Yeah.
But, equinox, as you probably already knew, Latin for equal nights.
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Neither did I. I didn't know it until I looked at it just a few minutes ago. Sun rays directly over the equator, and of course what will happen is here, as we get the rotation of the Earth, then it starts to go a little bit south, and the sun's more away from us. We start getting those shorter days, longer nights, colder weather. So anyway, yes, with that in mind, that is what is happening. Sunday morning, again, 7:43 a.m. is kind of the official time there. So let's start with some Friday night football. We kind of left that part out initially, talking about it. Also, another reason why it's my favorite time of the year. Call on the field, great weather.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
And short of the first down. By just about an inch.
I'm saying go for it. ESPN analytics say that's like a 96% chance you should go for it.
What are you drawing up, Coach Russ? A QB sneak?
Oh, listen.
Give it to the fullback?
Butt push.
Okay.
You got instead of Jalen Hurts, you got Adam in there.
Oh.
You put everyone you stack behind you just push.
Oh,
and you
my
force.
goodness.
And unless you're playing the Bears or University of Georgia defense, you're going to make that
I think we're going to
time.
have to put in Gabe or Bobby or something for the special formation there, because
Yeah.
I can get crumpled like a soda can.
Right, I know. Speaking of Bobby, last week fantasy football, Chicago Bear, and I called Bobby a plush, lovable Bobby Fowler teddy bear, and you kind of stomped him.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it was funny. We have this rivalry because, like, I'm a Bears fan and he's a Packers fan. And earlier in the week, he said to me, hey, let's make a friendly rivalry. If you beat me, I'll wear a Bears jersey. And if I beat you, you have to wear a Packers jersey. I said, no, I will not do that, because there's no chance I'm wearing a Packers jersey ever. And, like, I'm not going to have a Packers fan muddy up my Bears jersey.
Thank you.
Crisp 34 with the white and the orange. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want my sweetness turned into sourness after the taste of defeat.
I was going to say, had that gone down in Bobby, I would just go ahead and toss the jersey and look for something.
Can't do that.
Probably
Can't
a
do
Walter
that.
Payton, but a new one. And you know what? That's kind of expensive these days. So we got Friday Night Football looking great. How about the tailgating forecast? Again, the game's indoors. Game's going to be great, right?
Yeah.
But
Climate controlled.
Climate controlled, as the kids say. I don't actually remember saying that as a kid, but the newfangled technology these days, they know all the words. So tailgating forecast, you got 58, mostly sunny tomorrow morning. We're going to see some clouds out there, especially mid-morning. We're not going to see rain during the morning. We might see a little bit, just a quick shot overnight tonight, but it's out of here by tomorrow morning. You've got a parade, you've got tailgating. The one thing it is going to be, you notice it's going to be cooler out, that's going to feel great. It is going to be windy tomorrow. Sunday, not so much, but we'll see winds out of the northwest, could gust to 25 to 30. So I bring that up because you're out there, you're cooking the brats, or the hot dogs, the burgers, or you've got the beverage of your choice. Just want to make sure you hold on tight, because stuff's going to be blowing around. I almost said a word. Stuff's going to be blowing around.
You don't want that.
No. Again, a 1 o'clock start, which, by the way, is earlier than typical start for the game as well. Towson Tigers in town. Should be a great time.
NDSU by at least 25.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
By the way, do you know where Towson is? What state?
Not Fargo.
It's true.
So-
It's in Towson, Maryland.
Okay.
Somehow I knew that. Sydney asked me the other night there. She said, do you know where it is? And I pulled it out because it's a long story, but I actually did know where Towson is. Trust me, you don't want to hear the story. It's not that exciting. What do I have coming up next here? In theory, I believe what I have is our weekend forecast. Now, as sometimes does happen here with our technology, it's not coming up, and that's too bad, because I'm assuming at this point it's not going to. I mentioned the word Russell earlier.
Okay. Oh, and now it's time to talk about rustling?
Right. So what I have, thank you, it is the high for your Saturday is going to be 69 degrees, and I had a little thing, rustling leaves in the blowing breeze.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't see it, but I just said it for you.
Gosh,
so
that's reminds me of one of that. There's a song.
Don't do this to me again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it by Toto?
Yeah, I'll think of it 30 minutes after the Funcast ends.
Of course you will. Probably
Summer
30
Breeze.
seconds. Makes me feel fine.
Yeah, that song.
Seals and Croft.
Yeah. Okay, we got it, folks. We got it.
Very nice.
Teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teamwork.
I'm old. I know songs that probably most people don't. Sunday, first day of fall, as we showed you clearly with all our equinox stuff there. It is going to be very nice. Not as windy. It'll be sunny. We're going to see light winds actually out of the northwest. We're going to have about 68. So we go 69, 68 this weekend. It's going to feel very much like fall.
That's awesome.
Again, you've got the homecoming, which I love so much. Homecoming. For a long time, my son is a senior at University of Montana, and for like 20 years I lived in Missoula. We went so often to the parade, to the events. And I mean, obviously the games are great, but I just love everything that goes into the homecoming parade and all the events itself.
It's like the anthropology that comes along with sports.
Exactly.
You know, I think that's really just as good as the event itself, is like being able to, especially like you say on a homecoming weekend,
right.
being able to experience the culture that comes along with, you know, a football program or a school. And when you're talking about the rich tradition that the Bison have, you know, that's a very special homecoming. Homecoming's always special, but there's some schools that are like, hey, it's homecoming, let's see if we can only lose by 13.
Right.
you know, and then there's
exactly.
the teams who are like, all right.
Now, getting back real quick, and I know we're going to get to the football picks, and I know I've taken the last 2 times we've done this like an hour and a half for us to get through stuff, so I want to kind of move through quicker. But I will say you thought North Dakota State by about 25 or so. That was your kind of.
Yeah.
You know, last week Towson actually gave the number 5 team a really good fight. And I know North Dakota State last week, they won the game. Maybe it was more of a struggle than we thought.
It was crazy. I thought they were going to win by a lot last week too, so I'm just always confident.
But I'm with you. I think Towson comes in. I think flying, you know, halfway across the country, the environment, the atmosphere,
the Fargo Dome,
that I think,
homecoming. Yeah,
I think this is going to be 25 is probably about the number. So I'll say 25 and a half.
Oh, touche, touche. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
Of course. I just write on the fly. Do you want to get to the NFL picks?
First curveball for you. We did a little music thing. Any other favorite songs or on the short list of songs that you like for this time of year?
This time of year. I typically kind of go into a mode. It's funny because I'm one of those people that likes all kinds of music. Like if you look at my running list, it's nothing but like Lil Wayne, T.I., Nicki Minaj, just me, But then you get into things like I love like 40s. I love like you know, the crooners. This time of year for me gets into fall. I kind of like listening to a little Frank Sinatra, a little Perry Como. So dating myself a little bit.
Summer Wind,
for a long time,
or whatever. Isn't that a Frank Sinatra song?
What's that?
The Summer Wind?
I believe
that's
so.
That's a Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah. Or if it's not, we can say it is for sure.
And then he said something about the autumn wind. A lot of wind in that song.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. But no, I really do. And yeah, I think that's probably, and then that leads up here to November where Christmas just takes over, and that's all I listen
all the Christmas songs. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's Wake Me Up When September Ends. I feel like that's a long time to be asleep. We still got like a lot of time left in September. I'll just stay awake now. You know? Yeah.
Tomorrow, the 21st, I'm sorry, I clap and I get excited sometimes. September, the song by Earth, Wind & Fire.
Yes,
one of my favorite songs of all
the 21st night
time.
of September.
You got it.
Yeah, I love to dance to that song. That's actually my number 1 song to dance to.
I'm going to see this. So is it kind of an all-day thing tomorrow?
What, the dancing?
Yeah. I mean, I know the 21st is all day.
We'll see.
Tomorrow.
I got some plans earlier in the day, but I bet I could probably dance from about 2 to 10.
Yeah,
no breaks.
It's normal work hours.
Yeah.
No, we're just talking about music. That might be one of my favorite songs of all time, and it will be. Trust me, it will be playing quite a bit tomorrow in my world.
Awesome,
yes.
awesome. Okay, now we can get into our NFL picks that we've gotten through the important stuff. We're going to try to get a little quicker this week. I think we both picked up a win on our predictions. First, gosh, I have to admit that of all the Valley News Live talent we have, I had the worst picks last week. 5, just 5 correct out of 16.
16, yeah.
So
I wasn't. I think 7 for me. So
no one did good. No one did good.
Which makes me. It's funny. Misery loves company, right?
Yeah.
So the idea when you hand out all the sheets and I'm like 7, and I'm like, I was like right there in the meaty part of the curve.
Yeah, you were like one of the better ones with a 7.
I know.
There are a lot of 7s.
Gabe, by the way, is rocking it. 2 straight weeks. I think he's won outright.
Yeah. Well, I think he tied.
Okay.
But yeah, Gabe's doing great on the picks. So we both got the Jets beating the Patriots. So picking that one up, going down the list. The Browns hosting the Giants.
Giants are terrible.
Yes.
I got the Browns.
Browns, yeah, there it is. Bears bouncing back in Indianapolis? I think so.
Do you think so? Okay.
I think so.
By the way, I love watching. I watched that entire Houston Texans Bears game last week, and I know the Bears went down, but man, they put up a fight. That was a
Yeah,
fun game to
defense
watch.
is really good for the Bears this year.
Yeah.
I think Richardson turns the ball over, and so I think the Bears are going to be able to actually get it together on offense this week.
I love that specific reasoning. I will tell you, I did go with the Colts. I kind of expect them to get off the mat. The other thing is Bears, second straight week on the road. I think that may catch up to them a little bit. So I did go with the Colts, but this is one I had to think about for sure.
Now, really interesting one, the Vikings. I don't think a lot of people expected them to be 2-0. A lot of people did expect the Texans to be 2-0.
Yeah.
Who do you got in that one? That one's in Minnesota.
Well, here you go. There are two teams that I'm not going to pick against anymore. I refuse until they lose. So while I do think it's going to be a good battle, I cannot go against the Vikings. That would be the third straight week, and I know there are people watching who are Vikings fans. They're probably already angry at me the first 2 weeks. I'm Vikings.
I'm going with the Texans here. Don't feel great about it. The Vikings, maybe the best defense in the NFL right now.
Right, yeah.
So this is an interesting one. Eagles at Saints. Going into the season, the Eagles were favorites by about 3.5 points on this game. Now the Saints are actually favored to win this. Saints, best offense in the NFL right now under their new OC, Clint Kubiak. I got the Saints.
I think after watching the Eagles-Falcons game, by the way, Falcons won. That's my team, unbelievably, against all my expectations. I think the Eagles, I don't know what's going on. I think they've got some things to work out. They're on the road. New Orleans playing hot. I definitely have the Saints in this one.
All right, and then final noon game. I got the Steelers defending the home turf against the Chargers. What about you?
I mentioned earlier that there were two teams that I've realized I'm not going to pick against this season until they actually lose a game. Steelers are the other team that I've picked to lose both games, and they've won, so Steelers for me.
It sounds like a really bad situation when you think about steel as a conductor of electricity.
Yeah.
Seems like a recipe for disaster scientifically. So you never know which way the sparks are going to fly, but I think, Steelers.
Nice.
Thank you. Broncos, really bad against the Buccaneers. Really good.
Good, yeah.
I'm going with the really good. Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Titans. I don't know what to think of them. 0-2. Packers 1-1. Somehow, I thought the Colts would beat the Packers. One of the many picks got wrong last week. I'm not going to pick against the Packers again this week.
Okay, so you've got the Packers.
I got the Packers.
I got the Titans in this one. I think Titans will actually kind of. We're and I don't know this. We're Jordan Love. Where are we at with his?
He might play.
Okay.
Sunday. He's obviously not 100%.
Yeah.
But he might gut it out and just be okay with not being 100%. I think even if it's Malik Willis.
What you talking about?
Yeah,
Thank you.
very well done. I don't know. I just feel like they're the better overall football team.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going to go with the Titans, the home team here.
Speaking of summer songs, autumn songs, The Autumn Wind is a Raider. You ever hear that one?
I think I have, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
it's such a good poem. Look that one up if you don't know what we're talking about. But The Autumn Wind is a Raider, and the Carolina Panthers is a bad football team, so I'm going to go with the Raiders.
I think there are certain teams where I just don't have to say a lot about it. I just go with the other team, in this case, the Raiders.
Yeah. Dolphins, Skyler, reach for the Skyler. I don't remember his last name. Thompson.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback in right now, Tua out against a pretty decent 2-0 Seahawks team. I feel like if Dolphins are healthy, I'm going Dolphins. I'm not really thinking much about it, but I'm going Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, I think the big thing, Dolphins have to fly 7,820 miles to get to Seattle. I don't think that's actually how many miles. And you've got Thompson in for Tua. I've got the Seahawks here. Seahawks, big, home of the 12th man there, along with, of course, Texas A&M. But in this case, it's pro, so I'm going to go with Seattle.
The Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals. I got the Lions.
Now, what you've noticed if you've been keeping, so I'm sure you're writing down our picks at home. I've picked every single home team until this point. I'm also going with the Lions.
0-2 Ravens against the 1-1 Cowboys. I think the Ravens get their first win in Dallas.
I think it's interesting to see that 0-2 Ravens, isn't it? Like, I know it, and still when I see
I
it,
still
it
believe in them.
startles me.
They almost beat the Chiefs week 1.
I think the Cowboys, after really embarrassing themselves last week against New Orleans, second home game in a row, I actually think the Cowboys are going to win. Maybe against my better judgment, I think the Cowboys are going to win.
And then we got the San Francisco 49ers visiting the LA Rams.
Normally I'd go with the Rams. Excuse me. I don't know what I'm saying. There's a lot of hurt people on both teams, right? You got Cup, you got Nakua.
Yeah, Nakua.
And you've got Deebo Samuel, looks like he's out. And
Offensive line, a lot of injuries for the Rams too, and I think that's important to take note of.
Anyway, I'm saying a lot of words to let you know that I actually have the Niners.
I got the Niners too.
Yeah.
All right, the Falcons, better than we thought. Chiefs, still really good.
Yeah.
As good as we expected, and that's why they're going to win.
I do think the Chiefs, I will say this from the Falcons' perspective, I think a lot of confidence from the Monday night game getting that win. Cousins, last minute and a half drive. I think the Chiefs are just too good, but I actually think this is going to be, I don't know what the point spread is, but I think it's going to be a very close game.
I do think that the Falcons, Kirk Cousins is starting to, and I'm not a medical doctor, you know what I mean? But it just looks like that Achilles is getting stronger.
Yeah.
That first one, he looked like the Tin Woodman from Wizard of Oz, moving in the pocket, but he was able to be a little more mobile. He's never been a super mobile guy, but you got to be able to move around in the pocket a little bit. There's pressure you're putting on that Achilles when you're making those throws. He looked like Kirk Cousins last week in that big win over the Eagles. So I do think that could be, honestly, a trap game for Kansas City.
As someone who's not an auto mechanic, I agree with everything you're saying. So who are you taking? You taking Kansas City?
I'm taking Kansas City, though.
Yeah.
The Jaguars against the Buffalo Bills. Now, if this were a matchup between two mammals, I go with the Jaguar because of its claws, its quickness, its balance, and I think that a pack of Jaguars would be able to take down a Buffalo. However, it's a football game. The Jaguars 0-2, the Bills 2-0. My dad's name is Bill, and we are winners. 3-0 for Buffalo.
I agree with you on the Jaguar thing. But I tell you what, get a pack up, they're feisty. So I agree. If we're this out in the wild, per se, Jaguars. But it's not the Bills.
And we got the Bengals 0-2 hosting the 1-1 Commanders. Who did the Commanders play last week? The Giants?
Either way, this is going to be a fantastic Monday night game.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kidding.
I'll be watching Harry Potter. So.
Yep, reruns of the Muppets for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, Commanders, Bengals. I think the Bengals are gonna get a win.
All right, there you have it. Let's see how we did next week. Russ, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, who'd you take in that game?
Oh, the Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah. The Commanders are not good.
Yeah.
I won't be fooled.
No. Okay, so that's perfect. No, I got the three road teams and otherwise home. That's the Lions, Niners, and Chiefs. Every other home team I've got winning.
It's a beautiful weekend. Don't spend all day Sunday watching football.
No. Or if you do it outdoors.
Yeah. Maybe if you got one of those garage setups. Maybe. Look at this guy. Oh no, I thought this was a television. It's a grill. Yeah. But I've seen the setups on the tailgates where they actually do have the televisions. Pretty good setups out there.
I'm not an astronaut, but I agree with you. I think it's wonderful.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend. This has been the Weekend Funcast with Adam and Russ.